Welcome to r/slash Best of Redditor Updates, where we have one of the messiest, drama-filled stories I have ever seen in my life. Our next Reddit post comes from r/slash Wedding Shaming. Okay, so this girl I know from high school is getting married. We're both 22 for reference. In our senior year of high school, she got pregnant with baby daddy A, who we'll call Adam. Her super conservative parents kicked her out, and she ended up moving in with a friend's family. She barely graduated high school. The only reason she did was because of the generosity and support of our teachers and students who volunteered to help her, which is how we met. We were in the same law class in the morning, and she had the worst morning sickness that really affected her ability to be in class. So I took extra notes for her, tutored her, and brought her stuff if she didn't come back by the bell. I wasn't the only person who did stuff like this for her, and I know she really appreciates all the assistance that we gave her. She had the baby a month after we graduated. She signed up for a 911 dispatcher course for after high school because where we live, it's a good steady job with opportunity for certificates and promotions. But she didn't realize how intensive the course would be and had to drop out. She started working at a grocery store bakery just until she had a better plan. Adam started an apprenticeship while working part-time at a hockey rink and proposed to her literally the day of her 18th birthday. And he brought up marriage because it's the right thing to do. And she was always refusing. She started cheating on him after a while. And she eventually left him for another guy because she's pregnant again. And it's far more likely that this guy, baby daddy B, Brad, is the father of this child. Neither of them can afford lawyers, so getting any kind of custody agreement is a mess. And then their parents got involved and they did a 50-50 split. She had the baby, which turned out to be Brad's, and everything was okay for about 9 months. Until she found out that Brad had been cheating on her with his teaching assistant. Brad decides to just pay child support, but doesn't really want contact with the kid, only around holidays and 1 weekend a month for his parents' sake. She moves back in with her parents. By now, we're all 20, and they will only accept her back because there's grandkids around. On the plus side, after she turns 21, she gets to take that year-long dispatcher course and passes with flying colors. After working as a dispatcher for a year, at this point we're all 22, she meets a police officer, Chad, who's 26 and married. Also, by the way, he's Adam's second cousin. This... Alright, okay. This is messy. She has an affair with him. Infidelity is super common among cops, apparently. She gets knocked up. His wife divorces Chad, and Chad proposes because it's the right thing to do. She accepts, and her parents kick her out again for being a insert expletive here. She and her 2 kids move in with Chad. They've started planning the wedding, which, given the background, is something akin to a dumpster fire. Adam, by the way, is livid. He was desperately in love with this girl and hasn't really recovered from what she did to him. And she rejected his proposals years ago, but then she accepted a proposal from his cousin who proposed for the same reason that he did. Adam has basically made a call for loyalty in the family, dividing everyone on who should go, who should give money, etc. Plus, they're having trouble planning anything because of COVID. Her parents have outright said that they're not going, along with half of her family, and her younger sister has been going around sabotaging what plans they can make. She's asked me to be a bridesmaid. I said that I couldn't because I live in a different province now, but the truth is, I don't want to be wrapped up in that clusterfuck in any way. I'm just watching the arguments and events unfold on social media because this is quite honestly the most entertaining thing I've seen all year. It's weird to me that she even asked because we're not friends and we never have been. We were friendly strangers in high school. I just helped her out for one class because she needed help and I could give it to her. I was just being nice. But based on how she turned out, I'm just sad for her. 3 kids in 4 years, and she's alienated so much of her friends and family because of her actions. And I'm torn between feeling sorry for her and putting my head in my hands. Also, down in the comments, OP adds some clarification. She started alienating her friends after the affair with Chad came out because people weren't exactly jumping for joy after she'd broken up a marriage. Luckily, Chad and his ex-wife didn't have any kids, so there were fewer obstacles. When people weren't immediately ecstatic for her, she started getting very snippy, rude, and calling out the B words on social media for not supporting her new relationship or her pregnancy. To be honest, I'm really worried about her health because having this many babies so close together is just not good for her health, mental or physical. People are also worried that Chad will cheat on her. If he cheated with you, he'll cheat on you. And they think that she should avoid marrying him so that she can just leave him if it happens again. Then OP posted an update. There's lots of ranting and chaotic wedding planning on social media. She found a dress and she decided that she'll get married while pregnant. They found a local wedding venue that's very lovely, but I'm shocked that she's still trying to book stuff with all the previous venue cancellations. Her little sister unblocked her to call her a slut and then tell her that her wedding plans were stupid. This resulted in a petty and entertaining Facebook war until the little sister blocked her again the next day. Then, 2 days later, OP posted an update. My friend Beth went nuts on social media because Adam had kidnapped their daughter. But what really happened is that because courts are moving at a snail's pace due to COVID and Adam has reason to believe that their daughter wasn't safe living with Beth, he decided to just not give her back. They don't have a custody agreement, and when Beth tried to call the cops, they couldn't do anything because he was kinda right. There were dozens of videos on her various social media accounts of her ignoring their daughter, yelling at her daughter for crying, or doing other things that toddlers do. It turns out that everything she needed was bought by Adam. Food, diaper, clothes, toys, daycare, etc. This was unofficial child support that he was paying every month, which turned out to be $500 a month. A number that I find ridiculous because Adam was already paying for literally everything. She refused to buy anything for her daughter and insisted that it was Adam's responsibility. Additionally, after the immediate post-birth appointments, Beth never took her first child to a doctor's appointment. She always just let Adam do it. Baby A's pediatrician has literally never even met Beth. Beth even tried to get Chad to push back or intimidate him or something, but the local police where we live are under one hell of a microscope after a bunch of dirty cops got busted a couple of years ago. Basically, the cops and the social worker they ended up calling said that there was nothing they could do unless they went to court. The social worker tried to get Beth to go to therapy and parenting classes, but Beth refused and went on a 15-paragraph-long rant on Facebook about how she doesn't need parenting classes or therapy. She really does though. And she called the social worker some choice words. Then the next day, OP posted another update. There's just been a bunch of ranting on social media, calling everyone who doesn't enable or justify her behavior cuss words, slurs, or a whole bunch of other horribly creative things. Also, both she and Chad are under investigation at work now, but she has no idea why. I'm going to take the time to remind everyone that 99% of this information is coming from her public social media pages, where her coworkers, friends, and place of employment is also listed. Then, 4 days later, OP posted an update. I'm officially embarrassed to know this woman. I didn't go on her Facebook page until the evening because I didn't want to deal with drama first thing in the morning on Christmas. That morning, Beth put on a very beautiful blue maternity dress, got Chad in his police blues, and put baby B in a purple romper, and then live streamed her and her family going to the courthouse to get married on Christmas Day. Overall, a pretty tacky thing to do in my opinion, because she stated plain as day several times that she intended her wedding anniversary to eclipse Christmas for her kids because it's just so much more special, you know? I am so glad that baby B's grandparents are filing for guardianship. But here's the thing, the courthouse isn't open. Because of COVID, for one thing, but also because it's Christmas and Canada is a predominantly Christian country. She proceeded to have a full meltdown, and when baby B cried because, the kid's mom was screaming up a storm and scaring her, Beth called her baby the C word. Yep, I am so done with this woman. Then, 3 days later, OP posted an update. I ran into Beth at a vaccine clinic because we were both getting our booster shots. She didn't recognize me at first, but one of my old bosses called my name and said hi, so she came up to me after my old boss had left. We talked a bit while we sat down for the mandatory waiting period after getting the shot. She asked me how I was, but didn't even wait for me to respond before she started ranting and complaining about her life. I was just gonna sit there until my time was up and then politely make my exit. But when she started trash talking her kids, something inside of me snapped. I said, "Do you even like your kids? Do you like being a mom?" She got pretty quiet for a second and then said, "No." I don't know, her voice and demeanor completely changed, and we just sat in silence until our time was up. I said goodbye, but it was really awkward. Then, 3 days later, OP posted an update. I was just looking at her feed, and this is such a shocking, what the actual F moment. She's thinking about giving up her kids. She went on about how she was recently asked if she liked her kids or being a mom, and she realized that she didn't. She hates her kids and blames them for ruining her life, and how she doesn't want to be a mom. I mean, nothing is official yet, but what the hell? Then, 1 week later, OP posted an update. Beth and Chad stopped posting on social media. I was actually a little worried that she died. I mean, this woman posts everything short of her trips to the bathroom on Instagram. People actually got worried and started to reach out to her, but Chad posted a status saying they're fine, but they're busy. Please stop trying to contact us right now. Then, a week later, OP posted another update. She messaged me on Facebook asking me to be her maid of honor. She also kept going on about the resort in Cancun that she and Chad were looking to have their wedding at. This is happening in February, by the way. COVID is really bad where we are, so no one should be traveling anywhere. Beth also found out that Chad was cheating on her with one of her coworkers and called this woman a homewrecker on Facebook, tagged her, and posted the text that she found on Chad's phone. But Chad is the love of her life, so she's forgiven him, but not the other woman, which I find very hypocritical considering how she and Chad got together. She also sent pictures of possible bridesmaid dresses, and they're the most hideous dresses I've ever seen. I know that some brides want to do this thing where they want to look a million times better by comparison, but this was just ridiculous. One of them looked like a partially deflated balloon with feathers strapped to it. She also openly admitted that she expected everyone attending to pay $3,000. $2,000 would go towards the guest stay at the resort, and $1,000 would go to her and Chad. Oh, and they're also expecting wedding gifts. Apparently, she talked to someone at the resort, and if she got enough people to book their rooms, then she and Chad would get their room for free. She also wanted the money to be given to her instead of directly to the hotel so that people wouldn't realize that she was skimming $1,000 off the top. OP also includes a link to the wedding dress that she wants to wear, which, if you're listening and not watching, is not a wedding dress. This is it's basically a tube of white fabric that's just high enough to cover the nipples and just low enough to cover the butt. She also sent out a list of requirements for everyone attending the wedding, which I'll read through very quickly. All women must wear heels. For a wedding at the beach, by the way. No one is allowed to have a baby or be pregnant. Girls must have longer than shoulder-length hair, and boys must have very short hair, only an inch or two long. No one is allowed to be skinnier than she is. She'll be providing diets for everyone attending based on how she wants us to look. She and Chad must get bachelor and bachelorette parties both in Canada and in Mexico, and they need to be fit for a king and a queen. And both must be paid for by other people, because otherwise that's just tacky. No unnatural hair colors, no tattoos, and no one is allowed to talk to her directly. They must speak through the maid of honor and the best man. I decided to decline being her bridesmaid. Then I decided to check her socials to see if she posted anything. She had, and everything was basically how it was before the hiatus. Except now, her kids are nowhere to be found. No, look at my cute baby pics or videos with kids crying in the background. Nothing. Though, based on the new pictures of herself, she's given birth to baby C. I decided to ask her where her kids were, and this was her response. "Oh, I left them at the side of the road on our way home from the hospital. Those moochers can walk home, lol." I was like, please tell me you're not being serious. And she replied, "I was just joking. You shouldn't be so serious all the time." Anyways, here's the update on the kids. Baby A is still with Adam. Beth signed away her rights. Babies B and C have been given to a mutual cousin of Adam and Chad, who's infertile. I checked on the Facebook page of Baby B's grandparents, and they're happy that their grandchild has new parents. It looks like the cousin and her husband are welcoming both the baby and the grandparents into their family, so yay! Eventually, my conversation with Beth started to go downhill. "Wait, did you actually think that I would just leave my kids at the side of the road? I just didn't want to be a mom, but I wasn't a bad mom." I replied, "Beth, I think that you've been through a lot of trauma in the past few years, and that it's gotten to you mentally and that you should speak to a professional." "What? You think that I'm crazy?" No, I think that getting kicked out as a teen because of a pregnancy and having your family actively reject you and try to sabotage you must have been very painful. Plus, pregnancy puts a lot of mental stress on women, and you've had 3 pregnancies in such a short time span. And I just want you to take care of yourself and get what you want in life. And I think that'll start with you taking care of your mental health.
What I want is for you to go straight to hell.
Then, Beth called me every cuss word, expletive, and derogatory word that she could think of, one of which was a racial slur. So now I'm on her hit list. She's been blowing up my social media all day. On her last Facebook post, where she called me a slur, she said that she still expects a good wedding gift from me. Yeah, no. So I've blocked her on everything, and I decided to completely cut off contact. This will be my last update. Then OP posted another update. It turns out Beth found out about these Reddit posts, and she doesn't give a single damn. Because, as I pointed out, the majority of the info in this post came from her public social media. First things first, she and Chad did eventually get married, but they eloped. According to all sources, they're completely and utterly miserable though. Chad has proven to be an overall lazy and unfaithful husband, and Beth has really gotten into feminism with a focus on reproductive issues after she started using birth control, and Roe v. Wade getting overturned, even though we're in Canada, not the US, which really caused tension in their marriage. As it turns out, Chad thinks that abortion is murder, and God created women for the purpose of making babies. Beth tried to argue that not all women want or should be mothers, using herself as an example. And then Chad went ahead and used her as an example of why women should be forced to have kids, because in the end, she gave her kids to an infertile couple. She did not take that well, and said that her entire life and future was ripped away from her and destroyed the second that she got pregnant with baby A. She said that Adam was never slut-shamed or demeaned like she was, both at home and at school, which is a fair point, to be honest. And that if she hadn't gotten pregnant, she would have gone to college or university because she lost the general and financial support of her family with that positive pregnancy test. Chad has also made a Tinder account. Beth was informed, but it doesn't seem like she gave a damn. So basically, you can cut the tension with a knife. And as for her family, her little sister came out as gay and has cut off contact from their parents. She got a partial scholarship, so she's doing okay. She and Beth are not on good terms, but they have met up and acknowledged that their parents messed them up by being religious nuts, and that their parents encouraged them to be competitive with each other and sabotage each other. Apparently, their dad's motto is, "Competition brings out the best in everyone." Ugh. But they've talked, and that's good enough for now. Neither Beth nor Chad have custody or visitation of their kids, which Chad is starting to regret because he's suddenly getting more and more into the church and religion. Chad talked to Beth about getting back baby C, but Beth shut that down hard and warned the cousin who adopted baby C, officially and legally, by the way. Beth started going to therapy after she and Chad got married, which makes me very happy and excited for her. There was a rumor going around that Chad has a mistress, and it took me a while to confirm it, but it's true. He's cheating on her with the paramedic, and she knows. I don't know if she plans to do anything about it or just continue to ignore it, but I hope she leaves him. I'm still not going to talk to her. She's crossed so many lines, but she's grown and improved a lot, and her life would be a lot better without that sack of scum in her life. The top comment is, "What a multi-dimensional quantum toilet fire." Yeah, I think a dumpster fire would smell like sweet roses compared to this post. Down in the comments also, I'm seeing a surprising number of people saying not to date first responders or cops, because apparently there is quite a cheating problem among that demographic, which I had no idea about. I love this comment from Silent Border. Her life is how I play The Sims. That was r/Best of Redditor updates. And if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.